Everybody ready to go? Let's hear it. You ready to go? All right. Okay, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. My name's Gary Zuckett. I'm with West Virginia Citizen Action Group, and we're here with the West Virginia Climate Alliance today to send a message to Senator Manchin that don't gamble with our future. The groups here today represented the West Virginia Climate Alliance, Rise Up, Appalachian Voices, Common Defense, like I said, West Virginia Citizen Action, West Virginia Environmental Council, the West Virginia New Jobs Coalition, the Sierra Club, and more. I want to thank you all for coming out today, and thank you for folks that are watching on our live stream. You know, we've had a long journey on this reconciliation bill and the working on climate. We've had one step forward and we've had 3 steps back. We elected a new administration in Washington in 2020 with high hopes of unlocking some long overdue changes in health care and voting rights and fair taxation and the super critical issue of climate justice. That was a big step forward, right? Yeah. Big step forward, okay. That was a big opportunity to make progress. We supported the rescue plan to help with the problems created by the ongoing pandemic. We celebrated the infrastructure bill passed with the assurance that care jobs and green jobs and climate justice would come next. We worked hard to communicate with our senior senator to make sure that he understood the needs and the desires and the demands of his constituents. This now appears to be a relative failure in his response. In the end, the reconciliation package got pulled because of our senator from West Virginia last year. That was one step back. Then our Attorney General Morrissey took it upon himself to lead the charge against the EPA having the ability to cut greenhouse gas emissions from power plants. The Supreme Court, packed by McConnell with radicals, agreed with him. That was 2 steps back. And now we have a bare bones reconciliation bill that was on its way to passage. But wait, in a repeat performance, our senior senator takes the national stage to announce that again he's pulling the plug on it. This time because of the boogeyman of inflation. Ooh. We are now in uncharted territory of 3 steps back. Sure, inflation's a problem, but the bill Manchin just put on hold would actually help deal with inflation by making millionaires and tax-dodging corporations pay their fair share of taxes and use that money for climate justice and green jobs, expanding Medicare and paying down the national debt. As Senator Manchin said last year, doing nothing is not an option. We wish he would take his own advice. Yeah. Climate action is needed now before it's too late. Yeah. The longer we wait to take bold action to fix our climate, the worse it gets. Somebody just told me at this rally that 100 people in Ireland?
Scotland
died of heat today. In Scotland, way up north. This is terrible. So, climate change is here now.
Is Joe here?
Call Manchin's office every day and tell him that even though his office is in the lottery building, tell him, don't gamble with our future.
That's right.
Don't gamble with our future.
Yes.
Don't gamble with our future. Don't gamble with our future.
Don't gamble with our future. Don't gamble with our future.
Pass climate now. Pass climate now. Pass climate now. Pass climate now. Thank you. Thank you. We got several more speakers here. Next, I'd like to call up Letitia Lloyd from the Common Defense.
Yep. Hello. My name is Lakeisha Lloyd. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I am the climate justice organizer and the lead West Virginia organizer for Common Defense. I live here in Charleston, West Virginia. Senator Manchin's refusal to invest federal money into clean energy is an outright abandonment of his constituents, especially veterans and working class people like me. It's time he faced the consequences for his childish, self-serving, bad faith actions.
That's right.
I joined the United States Army at 17. I followed a tradition and a legacy of my grandfather, who was a coal miner in the poorest county in the state of West Virginia, McDowell County, West Virginia, who Governor Justice just had to file a state of emergency because of the flooding down there due to our rain. I left West Virginia and joined the United States Army not only because I believed in my service to this country, but also I was one of many who came up during the Great Recession, who could not get a job to survive. Unfortunately, my story isn't unique. West Virginia has one of the highest veteran poverty rates in the country and is one of the poorest states overall. What are we now, like second poorest? I think Arkansas beat us this year. Now, we need good jobs, laws that allow us to support our families and build healthy communities. That's exactly what the clean energy investments in the reconciliation bill would have done. Brought thousands of good-paying union jobs to West Virginia.
Yes.
Lowered energy costs. And made West Virginia a leader in the energy industry like we always have.
Yes.
Instead, Senator Manchin chose his pocketbook over the needs of his constituents once again. In the military, integrity and courage are two of our highest values. Senator Manchin has demonstrated a lack of both and therefore deserves to be stripped of his position as the chair of the Energy and Natural Resources Committee.
Yes.
We cannot let a person as unreliable, dishonest, and selfish as Joe Manchin have an ounce of power on such a key committee.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Karen May with the Sierra Club.
Step down, Joe! Step down, Joe!
Hi everybody, my name is Karen May. I work with Sierra Club. Just down the road, there's one of the dirtiest power plants in the United States. Senator Manchin says West Virginians can't afford inflation. But how about you? Do you feel like your power bills are going down?
No.
Do you think West Virginians can afford skyrocketing electricity bills?
No.
Can West Virginia students afford to spend years studying in portable classrooms because their high school was wiped out by catastrophic flooding? Can we afford to sit and wait for a Walmart to open to employ dozens of us? Or do we need jobs now? We could have been on the forefront of green, sustainable energy jobs. We could have been the leaders, like Letitia said, that we once were in energy. Can we afford to send our kids to the doctor with asthma because they're dealing with pollution? Other respiratory issues? No. Can we afford the rising cost of groceries because of food shortages that are bound to happen? We saw 1,000 people die in Europe in the last couple of days. Now you say 100 more from heat waves. There's unprecedented drought in the West. We are here. We have a bountiful amount of water, fresh, clean water. We have everything we need except the senator who could make it all happen for us. But we have each other. We won't give up. We're here organizing. We're here working. We're going to make sure that they know that we can't afford these high power bills. We can't afford to put this off anymore. And if they think it doesn't affect them, they're wrong. It's all of us. So thank you all for being here. Keep on it. Keep calling the senator. And also, President Biden has the power to institute executive actions to take care of climate too.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Sierra Club. Our next speaker is going to be Reverend Jeff Allen, who is director of the West Virginia Council of Churches. He's going to give us a faith perspective on creation care.
Okay. Good deal. Well, good afternoon. My name is Jeff Allen. I'm a United Methodist pastor and the executive director of the West Virginia Council of Churches. During the 2016 flood, I remember the sense of shock driving down Main Street in Grinnell. I remember seeing all the furniture piled outside on the sidewalks as high as any snowdrift I've ever seen. The local thrift store had taken out all the clothes and had a pile of clothes about 5 feet high along the length of the store. I remember talking with a man who had taken out a mortgage on his house to run a restaurant, only to have the restaurant lost in the flood. I think for me, as I reflect on that flood, what comes to mind is not so much as what went into the flood as what came out. What came out of it for me was a profound reminder of how much we need one another and how interconnected we are. Water washes away all distinctions. When it began to rain and flood, there were no Republicans and no Democrats, no liberals and no conservatives, only real human beings in need, vulnerable, shaken, and hungry. It is a reminder of the reality that we collectively as human beings face, and it is a reminder of our capacity to rise to the occasion when someone is in need. We take caring for our neighbors seriously in West Virginia. We stop for the car stranded by the road with its hazard lights on, or someone stops for us when our car has broken down. We take food to our neighbors when someone has died. When someone is sick, we might cut their grass or take their kids to school. The American tradition of barn raising, that tradition of helping one another when someone is in need, is something that still exists here in West Virginia. And that's what climate change legislation is all about. It's about helping our neighbors. It is the best of America. It is what we can do as Americans. In times of crisis, we lead the world. Climate change is a crisis of today. It's flooding in West Virginia and Virginia, fires in the West, and drought here and abroad. There is an enormous cost that we already bear to our lack of action, and it's a cost being borne by our neighbors. Passing climate change legislation is as local as it gets. This legislation is not only for our neighbors, but for all those people we care about deeply. For their sake, for our neighbors' sake, we cannot afford to delay any longer. Now is the time to pass climate change legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We always appreciate the words from the Spirit. And we also have our youngest demonstrator here today, Marceline, who said that she would like to say a few words.
Hello, I am Marceline, and I want to say that you're never too young to learn, and that people should open their eyes and see what is going on with the world. Joe needs to open his eyes and see what is happening. Climate change is affecting all of us. If it affects one person, it affects all of us, and we need to do something about it.
Yes.
Everyone should look and see at what is going on and causing this problem. Everything and basically everywhere is going to get affected by the changing climate of the world. And Joe needs to open his eyes right now and see what is going on and actually do something about it.
Thank you, Marceline. Okay, so let's tell Joe, open your eyes. 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 And do something about it. Do something about it. Do something about it. Do something about it. Thank you all. If any other folks want to come up and say a few words, we have a few more minutes. If not, we'll probably leave this open for Q&A to any of our friends in the media that are here with us for one-on-one conversation. Thank you all for coming out today, and let's keep up the fight. 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 Thank you.